name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. As we commence the last activity of the Practical Entrepreneurship Tutorship Practice Training for Nigerian universities, we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless the occasion for us and bless all the activities that we've been through from our arrival on this program to the very last day of the program. We call on you to recite Al-Fatiha for Allah's blessings. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. May God Almighty accept our prayers and bless this evening and the subsequent occasions that we are here for in Atlanta. Thank you very much.
Let's pray. Dear God, just thank you for this day, God, that you have created. Thank you for our brothers here, brothers and sisters here from overseas, God. And I just pray just a blessing over this night. And I pray over the dreams that are being just released as we gather here today and the seeds that are sprouting, God. And I just pray over just great conversations and revelations today in our evening and also in the future, Lord. And I just want to pray all these things in your name. Amen. Amen.
We're now waiting on our illustrious artist who will provide the national anthem for the country of Nigeria and the United States national anthem as well. In the meantime, our MC, who we have not properly introduced, is Kim Young. And Kim Young is an excellent friend of ours, and he happens to be very talented. And he's our MC for the evening, our master of ceremonies. And as we wait for our artists to render those national anthems, we will be blessed by Mr. Kim Young.
Thank you, Shamar. My name is Kim Young Kim. I am known as the Asian sensation. You can call me the Asian sensei for short, so go with that. Now I know what you're thinking, but I'm actually not from China, and I'm not here to sell you any fake product, okay? So put your guards down, put your guards down. I am from Korea, North, South Korea, I can't remember which one of those. Anyway, it doesn't matter where. But I do run into a lot of assumptions. I was in a country, it may have been the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure, I don't remember correctly. But I was talking to this guy, and he's talking to me, and he's like, hey, what do you do for a living? And believe it or not, I used to be a middle school teacher. So I said, hey, I'm a middle school teacher. And he goes, cool. He's like, how old were the students that you taught? And I was like, 11, 12 years old. He goes, what subject did you teach? And before I could answer, he looks at me with all the seriousness in his eyes. He goes, how stereotypical of an answer can you get? I got so mad, I just gave him a roundhouse to the chest. I was like, bow! I kicked him right in the chest, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. Now, here in America, I don't know if you know this or not, but we like our tattoos. We like our tattoos, right, Americans? Yeah, that's right. We like our tattoos. I was at the gas station yesterday, and this gentleman standing in front of me, I think he was a gang member, he had a tattoo on his neck. It said, "Killer for life." It said, "Killer for life." The tattoo wasn't the crazy part. The crazy part was he used 2 moles on his neck to dot the I's in his tattoo. That's the crazy part. Now, I came up with that joke when I was a teacher. Before I could tell my students it was a joke, one of my students raises his hand and goes, "Hey, my mom did that." And I was like, I bet she did. I bet she did. Now, I am a youth motivational speaker. Do y'all believe that or not? You believe it? Okay, cool. I go to high schools and I speak to students. And when I go to high schools, it reminds me of my years in high school. It particularly reminds me of dating back in high school. My high school, in order to get a date, you had to have 2 things to get a date. You had to have a car, and you had to have money. And I remember this very specifically because I had...
She's an honorary U.S. cultural ambassador to the country of Nigeria. She will present the Nigerian national anthem as well as the U.S. national anthem. Please stand. Yuande.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rocked Only for Dr. Babs. That's all I'm going to say. I had to bring that one out of the closet. And now, just 8 days shy of my very next youth empowerment initiative going to Lagos, Nigeria, I am very honored to sing for you the Nigerian national anthem. Oh, rise, oh, compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland
Singley Hall, and she is with the World Trade Center of Atlanta. So everybody go ahead and give a warm Atlanta welcome, the Nigerian welcome to Ms. Marjorie Singley Hall. There we go.
Thank you. Welcome to Atlanta. We're so happy you're here. To the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, to the National Universities Commission, Mrs. King and the King family, His Excellency Ambassador Tenawabi, Mrs. Sernona Clayton, directors, chancellors, professors, and other distinguished guests. I would like to welcome you to Atlanta. I am on board of the World Trade Center Atlanta, and we are just delighted that you are here. I hope that you will visit some of the trade centers throughout Nigeria. We are a 300+ organization. We are throughout the world, and we are there to help you with trade, with building companies, doing whatever we can. Please feel free to call upon us. You can go to our website if you're doing business in Atlanta. We're more than happy to help you with introductions, with connections, anything that we can help you with. And we hope you'll come back soon. Thank you so much.
It is a new day. We are not here by coincidence, and the Nigerian university chancellors, the Tertiary Education Fund are here for collaboration. We're here because in the most recent years that we know, we have experienced a peaceful election, peaceful transition of power, and as a result, we know it's a new day. It's a new day in Nigeria, it's a new day for Americans, it's a new day for all of us who are members of the diaspora. And the occasion being entrepreneurship is such that you must recognize that entrepreneurship somehow it just is in the bones of people who are of the diaspora. You know, how is it that you can have people who come from one continent to another under oppressive circumstances and turn the most bitter lemons into lemonade, build a country, build culture. If there is any group of people that are the quintessential entrepreneurs, I would say most of us in this room, I think all of us can look in the mirror. And it doesn't matter whether you still have a job and whether you still function under the corporate auspices, you still have entrepreneurship in your blood and in your bones. And all you have to do is decide to dream. Dream bigger. And not only dream bigger, but act. So again, the occasion is love, history, and a new day. And we welcome all of you and we thank you for coming. So without further ado, I think we'll start with Dr. Babbs and Mrs. King, this table here. And I believe what we'll do is buffet style. We'll begin serving here. You can, with Mrs. King, Dr. Babbs, we're on this side, and as you can see, you can approach the chafing dishes.
Of estimated $515 billion. Next is Egypt, with an estimated of $324 billion. And subsequently South Africa, estimated at $323 billion. You can see that the path laid down for the development in Nigeria is a good path. It is an onward, forward, monumental, accelerated path of mass transformation with a new paradigm shift, focusing on entrepreneurship across disciplines and a way of life. It is a mental shift and conditioning from dependency to sufficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, we are making history and setting the pace for economic transformation of the largest economy in Africa and the most populated nation in the entire universe. It is not by accident that Nigeria had a successful free and fair election, as well as free from violence and credible election. Please once again, give yourself again a sounding round of applause, especially Nigerians, for such an historic moment that we were able to transfer power without violence, and we did it in a very dignified form. We would like to formalize our relationship with each university by establishing MOUs with ADQ Foundation and Ara-rocks to show our resolve and unwavering commitment to this noble journey of Nigerian education transformation. With God being on our side, we too shall overcome by the power of Almighty God. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you're getting your food, we have a special guest and performance. I've seen him perform. He is phenomenal. We have Mr. Stefan Ferguson coming in, and he will be doing the speech of Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream. So everybody go ahead and give a round of applause to Mr. Stefan Ferguson.
I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream, one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children one day live in a nation where they would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day the valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and if America's to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the Carpathia slopes of California. Not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
At this point, I would like to recognize our state representative, Dr. Sharon T. I'm sorry I omitted a recognition when I gave my official speech. So please give a round of applause for being here. It's always been very supportive of the foundation from the beginning. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you. How's the food? Excellent, good, good. Keep enjoying it. history in this house. And people don't know, many times we take for granted the people that we see every day, but we must always cherish those who have made significant contribution to history. And I'm not talking about anyone other than Mrs. Zelena Clayton. She was one of the foot soldiers of Dr. King. Can you imagine walking in the footsteps of such a great man? When you say you have to make a difference, she has done that. So we're standing on the shoulders of those that have paved ways for us to get this freedom that we'll now enjoy. And so, in that light, we know that we're paving a new path to transformation in Nigeria. And so it's so befitting that she's here to celebrate and rejoice with us. And so I thank her. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you, Mrs. Clayton. Thank you. Thank you for all that you did. We never forget. Thank you, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, continue to enjoy your meal. But we have another performance by Yewande. So go ahead and give another round of applause to Miss Yewande.
Thank you. I wondered if you would just indulge me for one brief moment to tell you a little story. And that's a story of a little girl that was born in the north of the United States, in a place where over 70% of the history books there don't really teach us our true history. They teach a history that is watered down and doesn't include some of the great contributions of our ancestors. But this little girl was given a very special name when she was born. And her name was Yewande, a name that I never really knew when I was little, by two African-American parents that just wanted to make sure that I had a name that celebrated the history that the books at school didn't allow us to celebrate. The books that didn't tell of the history of the kings and queens that came from Africa. The books that didn't tell about the monumental skill and technical abilities that built the Great Pyramids or built complicated irrigation systems and developed an agricultural system that we take advantage of here in the United States today. That name taught me that our history as African Americans did not begin with slavery, but went back to a land from whence we all come. That little girl, being me, was so very proud of my name as I came to learn exactly what it means. Because I'm sure many of you are curious. My birth name is Yewande. And yes, I'll say it correctly, Yewande. Yewande, yes. I have traveled and worked in 9 countries across the beautiful continent of Africa with children much like me that once had a dream of changing the world, but don't have access to the tools that they need. But I can tell you, no matter what country I've been in across the continent, my name, Yewande, is a gateway to people's hearts, their trust and understanding that we are all connected. So I return to Nigeria, the birthplace of my name, in just 8 days, to go back and plant a seed of that hope in our children. Some of the little children named Yewande. You see, I think it's really important as we celebrate here not only the King family, but Zerona Clayton and so many that came before us, that we're not here. We didn't get here on our own. It took each one of us setting aside our pride and joining hand in hand to say we could be together better.
love to appreciate and congratulate the organizers of this forum, namely the A.D. King Foundation. But for the simple reason that I don't know what next, I'll be opportune to find myself in the midst of such political and economic gladiators. I think it's only rational for me, being the leader of the delegation, to appreciate, to share with you the objective behind this wonderful program. For the benefit of Mrs. King and others, you see, way back in 2007, the federal government of Nigeria took cognizance of the challenge of massive graduate unemployment facing our youth. And as a matter of deliberate policy towards finding a lasting objective, a lasting solution for solving the problem, government decided to introduce entrepreneurship as a program of studies in our tertiary institutions of learning, which include the universities, the polytechnics, and the colleges of education. From our own perspective, that's the National Universities Commission of Nigeria, which has the responsibility of macro-managing 165 universities cut across federal, state, and private. We designed a program and strategy for actualizing the objective of government. So we started by embarking on massive sensitization between government agencies on the one hand and the stakeholders, that is universities, and then side by side with capacity building programs. That means trying to improve the capacity of lecturers that will deliver the entrepreneurship as a program of studies. So, so far, we've conducted capacity building programs in Nigeria. We've done it in Africa. We've also taken our lecturers to UK, and finally, we're now here to learn from the US best practices. So for us, we cannot be more excited with the lessons we've learned since Monday through Friday, and it is my hope that the participants will try to replicate the lessons we've learned, as well as share the opportunities with their students back home, and then also see the opportunity to invite prospective providers of university education, since you very much know that education is on the concurrent list, legislative list of the Constitution, which means the federal government has responsibility, state government has responsibility, private sector also has responsibility. So for those of you who may wish to join partnership with Nigerians to establish private universities in Nigeria, we'll be delighted to provide you with guidelines for establishment of private universities in Nigeria. With these few words, I want to seize this opportunity to finally thank and appreciate A.D. King Foundation for providing this wonderful opportunity and wonderful forum And I also want to seize the opportunity to plead with him to continue with the same spirit of cooperation and understanding. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all.
Very distinguished invited guests, participants, I would like to just stand on the already established protocol, and also for you to spare us the time to stay here longer. My boss has already spoken, so I'll try not to speak too much, but let me join him in saying how very thankful I am. By the way, my name is Professor Hayward Babeli Mafuye, Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos in central Nigeria. In so many ways, I feel a part of the city of Atlanta. I do have nearly 20 years of direct relationship with the Carter Center. President Jimmy Carter has his own foundational center that is all over the world in our own country, has been involved in very, very significant work in public health. I'm a public health entomologist, and I've had the privilege to meet President Jimmy and Rosalind Carter in Nigeria as one of their consultants. So today, for me to be here again in the city of Atlanta with A.D. King Foundation, I think something really good is coming up. I want to say that the University of Jos will definitely want to work with the A.D. King Foundation within the broad themes that we can work together with. I'm very delighted that for us in Nigeria, the subject of entrepreneurship has come very timely. The largest economy now in Africa, we really now have to prove that that's really the case. And I think that for Nigeria, the young men and women that we have in that country are very, very blessed. Extraordinary people. I've seen that over and over again. But what we need now at this point, I call it an inflection point in the life of the country, is for us to be able to inspire them and to refocus them and to let that burst of imaginations and ideas that they have be galvanized in a way that we're able to help them as teachers and mentors, that they're able to put all of those ideas and energies into the economy so that the economy can grow even faster. So I'd just like to say how very thankful I am and delighted that I've been a part of these meetings, and I do go back with very strong memories of what has transpired, and also as the head of my own institution, I make a very firm commitment that all the very brilliant ideas and the new perspectives I've learned be put to use immediately. Thank you very much.
Vice Chancellor of Benue State University, Benue State, in Nigeria. It's been an exciting time coming to Atlanta on this entrepreneurship training. We've been bombarded with the kind of training that for a long time I have not had. And when I saw on the menu another lecture on entrepreneurship, I started getting scared, but thank God that has been put up. Because we are going back so full of ideas. And we've even started thinking of various ventures for ourselves. I mean, apart from taking this back to our students to share with them, we are also thinking that we should be thinking entrepreneurial. So I can assure you that this time has not been wasted. We appreciate the friendship. We appreciate all the good work that has been done here. And as we go back, we are going to keep the flag flying. Thank you very much for being wonderful.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm highly honored and delighted to be here this evening. I have a dream, a very big dream that I've learned from Ara-rocks. We are taking this dream to Nigeria with my wonderful participants that came. Give us 2 to 3 years to come, Nigeria will be a different state, a different country that I've never imagined. Why? Because of the practical knowledge management on entrepreneurship, tutorship, and practical that we've acquired from here. It will be properly utilized, shared toward the economic development in our country, Nigeria. Please, can you have a round of applause to Testimonials for sponsoring these noble ideas? I want you to equally thank immensely the participants that came from Nigeria for their patient understanding and the wonderful knowledge they have acquired from here. I believe in them, that when they go to their various institutions, they will translate this idea to their various students. Please clap hands for them for me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank sincerely the organizers of this program, AD Foundations. AD Kings Foundations, and Ara-rocks. These have been wonderful organizations. Please give them a wonderful hand of applause. In my corporate assessment, I have studied in Macedonia, I've studied in UK, most especially in Robert Gordon University. I have studied in United Arab Emirates, and also I've come here to Georgia, Atlanta. Out of the entrepreneurship knowledge I've acquired so far, here is the best. Please clap hands for this organization. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am believing you sincerely that the next batch will going to be the best of the training so far compared to the one we have acquired. Clap hands for this organization. When we get back to our country, we'll intensify effort to ensure that TEDFON will be sponsoring this kind of program biannually, because it is a wonderful program. In 1964, scholars said, nobody has money problem but idea problem. When you have the right idea, you write the right people, you have the right change, you have the right institution, you have the right money. So as we have come here, we have acquired something. That's why I say, I have a dream. The dream is the idea we have acquired. And by the time we go to Nigeria, this idea we have acquired will bring a lot of changes to our country. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
the distinguished participants, the distinguished guests, a very good evening. My name is Professor Emmanuel Kucha. I'm the Vice Chancellor, University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State, North Central Nigeria. I want to say that I've been out of my station for 2 weeks now. I went to South Africa for a workshop and came in from there to attend this conference, this training. And it happened this way. If at a point I almost gave up, there was a shift, and then a shift. And I said I wasn't going to participate again. But on the second thought, I said, well, we've been battling with this entrepreneurship center in my university. Let me give it a shot. My director has been attending these trainings. We've not seen much of the impact. Let me take a shot at this and see what we get out. And so I came. And I want to say that I am happy that I did. We've learned a lot. It has broadened our minds about what this whole game of entrepreneurship is all about. My university is very apprehensive of this activity, this entrepreneurship thing. And that's why I'm saying, I'm emphasizing that I had to come myself. Because people, many of our staff don't know what this is all about. There is a center, and the center is just there. I've been a Vice Chancellor for 2.5 years. I have never visited the center. So this has broadened my mind, my horizon, that when I go back, we'll reposition that center. It is a very useful center. It will touch the lives of the students. It will touch the lives even of the staff in the institution, and then the host community. We are, in our university system, the universities are established in a community. And the community look onto the university. The youths are there. We are being harassed by youth every now and then. And we need to put them, to engage them. So this is a tool for us to go and get our youth engaged. I want to thank A.D. King, thank AUC, and TED Fund. TED Fund, but you have to refund our money. It's very important. We have to get our money back. But when you say that this program should be organized biannually, I want to suggest, and I said it in my form, it should be done annually, not biannually. It's a very I want to thank you, and I'm happy that I have participated in this program. Thank you, and good evening.
Going up in 1 second.
Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, I am Professor Hassan Issa, Vice Chancellor, Kogi State University, Nigeria. Kogi State is known as a confluence state. That's where the two big rivers in Nigeria meet. The university is situated where you have a lot of natural resources. And this training that we've come to acquire has sharpened my mind and thinking about entrepreneurship. I've not been a businessman, but when I saw the resources within the environment, I have decided to become an entrepreneur.
All right.
All right. And what I've done is to harness the naturally giving cashew nuts, the cashew nuts in the environment to establish a cashew processing plant.
All right.
On a small scale.
Yes.
So this visit will enable me to expand, look for opportunities to expand the processing plant. I'm also looking forward for opportunities to establish a cashew research center to empower youths and capacity building.
Yes.
So this simple story is just a tip of the very many natural resources that are available in Nigeria. And we'll be very, very glad for opportunities to exploit this to the full. But I have a challenge, especially to my colleagues from Nigeria. The challenge is this: when we get back, when are we going to meet one-on-one within our institutions? It appears to me that it is easier for us to gather here, but when we get back home, it may be more difficult. We must break that jinx. Let us meet in Nigeria regularly so that the problems on the table can be dissected and dealt with. So finally, I want to thank A.D. King Foundation, the King family, our NUC, our church fund, and the organizers of this event. I appreciate the energy and the dynamism that is being exhibited by Dr. Onabanjo and his group, as well as the very energetic use of Ara-rocks. We are proud of them, and from what we have seen of them, Nigeria will go places shortly. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, distinguished invited guests, our hosts, organizers of this conference, my co-participants. It is indeed a very good experience, a memorable one. We in Gombe State University, where I'm the Vice Chancellor, and also being lucky that I was the Director of the Entrepreneurship Center, which I put in place, which has been fully functional. So this workshop came at the right time so that we can now develop the next stage of the Entrepreneurship Center. I must say, during the interaction this week, we are now in a position to go to the next stage. whereby we can now put in place of the incubators, accelerators. At the same time, encourage our students to come up with individual projects, because the concept we have been thinking about in Nigeria is that we have different areas of entrepreneurship development where we expose almost all the students to similar activities. One thing that I have realized during this one-year training is that we can now encourage the students to come up with individual projects so that we can now develop them based on their interests, based on their needs. And these we can do by providing different incubators and accelerators so that these projects can be developed to commercial projects, so that now we can have real entrepreneurs. It's not a matter of just saying, take a 2-credit course unit and you pass the exams and you go. I think this is the concept now. But with this current workshop, I think we can now extend it to the next phase, so that our students now will be self-reliant and now be providers of jobs, not job seekers. So definitely this workshop is very fruitful, and it's an eye-opener, and it's very valuable. Thank Education Foundation and Ara-rocks, who is very close to us. I think Jos is not very far from us. And one thing that I have noted is we'll visit him and see what he's doing. Thank you very much.
Before our next speaker comes up, I just want to say that we are being very attentive to our speakers and our presenters, and of all the audible conversations that I hear, I hope that you are working on million-dollar deals. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my co-participants in this practical entrepreneurship conference, I stand here to make a declaration as the Vice Chancellor of Adamawa State University in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Some of you, during our interaction before this dinner, had a whisper from me concerning the issue of Boko Haram in my region. And as I stand here before you, I am a displaced Vice Chancellor, a displaced university, and a displaced community. But to show you the spirit of entrepreneurship that I have and my institution have, I want to tell you that I have been a practical farmer from my youth. And so it's not surprising that I end up reading agriculture as a discipline. And what I have come to achieve in this conference is a build-up on what I've gone through over the years. Some of the participants know my history. I was the farm manager of my university, teaching and research from, for 16 years. And I was really into entrepreneurship. But we were not calling it just entrepreneurship, just a small business for the university, whereby we were raising livestock and crop. And just as you have market where you can go and purchase livestock, meat and meat products, livestock and livestock products generally, and even crops. We do that in my former university. And when this issue of this conference came in, I said, well, this is an opportunity to also go back to the old path that I've been raised on. And with the vision and mission I have as the new Vice Chancellor of the State University, Mubi, I came with that burden of trying to improve the revenue base, even in displaced position. And I've gone far to get approval for some of the facilities that the state has, whereby I can generate revenue. And this was prior to this conference. And approval has been given to me, whereby in that dream, whereby I will engage young people, both students and even the community, in some of the entrepreneurial skills. We are planning to have the engineering component that involves fabrication of some tools, and then also involving some things to do with brick making, because we have acquired the state factory for the block making in Mubi, and so on. So coming to this conference is an energizer for me, and also to put the path straight and to have linkages whereby people of different components, that is the public and private and also intellectuals in all these universities that we have interacted with, we can operate in partnership so that our dreams will be actualized in Mubi. And I tell you, with all these details that I have acquired and the contacts made, I'm sure my university, as we open, will start on a very sound pedestal. And as a businessman, a practicing farmer, I know that this is just the beginning for me and for my institution, and I'm sure we will achieve those goals that we have attained. Thank you once again for this opportunity.
So as our next Vice Chancellor comes up, we're going to ask all the remaining to just keep their remarks to 1 minute so that we can keep the program moving along. Thank you so much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, special felicitation from my Vice Chancellor, National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Vincent Adotenepo. Well, I would love to be part of this event since we started this week, but because of the council meeting of our university, and that's the more reason why he said that we should all proceed for this event. The entrepreneurship event that we are here for, as a matter of fact, since the beginning of its engagement in other movements in other countries, London and Dubai and other parts of the world, the one we are here for is the one that I want to say will ever be something memorable in our mind. I say this not because of anything, but because of the credibility and the reputation of the organizers. The A.B. King and the King family, they are partners of this development, is something that will be worth remembered forever and ever. And I want to tell you that Ara-rocks, especially the application that we had 2 days ago, we in our National Open University of Nigeria will commence the possibility of partnering with you so that we can indeed benefit from the deliverables that you heard. The National Open University of Nigeria, distinguished participants that are here, and most of us that are also new in that environment, it is a university that its spread is in all the states of the Federation. And so, as a matter of fact, the advantage of online engagement is what we cherish. And we want to see the possibility, and thank God Professor Babs, he's an expert in online studies, will definitely partner with you in that area, the possibility of having an entrepreneur engagement discussions online. And the more you have people engaged in the whole thing, the better in mass producing the number of entrepreneurs that we need to have, so that we'll be in that area. There is no doubt about it that our current movement in our country today, because we're already in the move of change. We've already changed and we're changing, and that changing has to be a positive change which will be towards development. A real change that everybody will have to now be working towards progress, stability, economic development. And on this note, I want to thank NUC. NUC has been very, very wonderful. I call them very great police. Very great police because they always try as much as we can for us to be on our toes. And on this, they were able to organize us together, and we are here, and we'll try as much as we can to follow whatever guidelines, whatever rule that will be towards the proper implementation of this program, entrepreneurship, that we are supposed to do. And of course, TED4, yes, their support is too. And we'll also try as much as we can to get towards doing all that is expected. All we are saying that it is a new movement, a radical departure from the way we are doing things before to the new direction. And that new direction, we have to do it with high sense of commitment, with high sense of sincerity, with high sense of doggedness in whatever that we do. And the more we do that, the better in achieving the best that we do. America is great today, not because of anything, but because of their commitment towards excellence. And I want to believe that we will work towards doing that in our own country, and by the grace of God, we will achieve the best. For the organizers and all of us that are here, I thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benga Ipile. I am from Federal University, Lokoja, and on behalf of my Vice Chancellor, I wish to express our profound appreciation to Mrs. King and to the King's family, to Eddie Kings, to Ara-rocks, to TED Funds. Some years ago, I bought a small book titled What Every Student Had Wanted to Know in School, but which they didn't know. When I went through school, if I had gone through the kind of training that I have gone through in the last 1 week, I probably would have been a better person. I want to thank you for rescuing my students from my kind of fate, because you have empowered me to empower them. We will not fail. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Mrs. King, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that I came to this program with double expectations. The first expectation was, of course, that I was going to learn everything that will assist me to strengthen the entrepreneurship program in my university. That is my first expectation. And I want to say that that expectation has been achieved 101%. Because while my horizon was limited to impacting my students with the entrepreneurship experience, the program has now broadened my horizon with respect to what I can do with entrepreneurship program, which will now go beyond the students in my university. I have already set in motion the process of engaging my state government, because my university is a public university, with the entrepreneurship program, so that beyond impacting on our students, we'll also partner with the state government to impart this entrepreneurship knowledge and experience on the teeming unemployed graduates in my state. And that's why I said that first aspect has been achieved 101%. Now, my second expectation, of course, was that I was going to look for linkages and collaboration with institutions in the United States of America. And I can also say that that expectation has also been achieved in advance. Because having learned and experienced the wonderful knowledge that has been shared with us on this program, my team, we have decided to stay longer. And just this moment, I received an email that our trip that was scheduled to be tomorrow has been postponed to Wednesday, so that we can stay back and consummate the relationship and collaboration that we believe will be very, very beneficial. And that's why I said my second expectation too has been made in advance. So I would like to join my colleagues in expressing our profound appreciation to the A.D. King Foundation, Ara-rocks, and all those who have contributed to making this opportunity, granting this very opportunity for us in this particular program. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Good evening, everybody. We just want to make a formal apology and make it understanding protocol. We are so sorry. The NUC just called us to order now in terms of the protocol of people that should speak. We are totally sorry that Vice Chancellors are around and should have taken into line before the other people spoke. We are totally sorry. We take all the blame, we take all the fault. Forgive us, please. We beg of you. Thank you very much.
Well, give me something there. Let's lift this energy up. There's nothing like, it doesn't matter whether you play the violin, the trumpet, or what kind of music you like. There's just nothing like good rhythms. Do you agree? Great rhythms. We are now going to have a very distinguished person come back and grace us. She's going to make a presentation. And just before that, Dr. Bass has something magnificent to say.
I would like all the Vice Chancellors who have not spoken to please stand up to be recognized. Is there any Vice Chancellor here that has not spoken? Can I see your hands, please? I think they are all spoken. Is there any Vice President here that is here that has not spoken? Please come forward. Okay, thank you very much.
You know, the thing about the Nigerian culture is that it is jazz. If you know what jazz is, it's jazz. You know, jazz is simply improvisation. And if we didn't improvise tonight, I don't know what we did. Yewande Austin is going to grace us here. She's going to make a presentation. And as we mentioned in the occasion here is love, it is history, and it is the future. Not only are we here celebrating entrepreneurship, but we are also celebrating woman. And Yewande has just come back from Richmond, Virginia, where she was at Virginia Commonwealth University, where she was the first woman, the first person indeed, who facilitated a program over the almost 200-year history of Virginia Commonwealth University, where the program was simply about diversity for healthcare workers and health students, etc. And what is so phenomenal about this is when she told me about this, I thought many of my family members who are of the clergy went to Virginia Commonwealth University. Many of our pastors, Black Baptist ministers here in the South have gone to Virginia Commonwealth, and I had no idea that there was a diversity problem. So the fact that she is the first person to even indulge and head up such a program is very, very unique. Yewande, thank you so much.
I'll make this brief. Long before I was ever recognized as an honorary cultural ambassador, or an activist, or lecturer, or singer, I was just a little girl that had the dream of changing the world. You may think that that's rather strange for a child, but you'd have to understand where I came from. I came from a home where there was abuse. I came from a home where I didn't have a father. I came from a home where I never seemed to quite find a way to fit in, until in the sanctuary of my little closet I would read the stories of my ancestors. Incredible pioneers like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass, that were born into slavery and yet had the audacity to not only free themselves but educate themselves and free and educate thousands of others. I realized that the only thing that separates me from the over 250,000 vulnerable children, AIDS orphans, sex trafficking survivors, advocates and educators that we have worked with around the world is that I was born in a country where I had access to education. That education taught me effective communication. It taught me how to balance a checkbook. It taught me how to build a business. And now, 30 some odd years later, I have built businesses that are committed to changing the world. Nearly 30 years later, that little girl has grown up to produce programs in 11 countries around the world, with demand from 9 new countries across Africa, and now Cambodia and Pakistan, where we've been asked to come to teach our programs that use music as our weapon of choice. Through music, we teach children how to dream. We teach them that their lives matter. We teach them leadership skills, skills such as math and science that little girls don't have access to. In a program that I produced just last summer at VCU, we use music to teach STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math. And you may think maybe that's a rather odd combination, but it is not. Music is math. It's rhythms, it's metrics, it's fractions, it's science. Because research has found that music is the only tool that engages all parts of the brain. It's the only tool that stimulates the development of neurons, and through that we bring joy and confidence and give these children the skills they need to succeed. At the end of our program, our children raised their test scores in math by 20% and in science by 30%. And that was just in 1 week. Now imagine if we could train entrepreneurs all around the world, little children just like me, that didn't come from the best possible circumstances, but were still given permission to dream and to use their voice to change the world. Well, next week I do have the honor of going to the 10th country that I've produced programs in Africa, to Nigeria, to plant this seed on the fertile soil of this beautiful land. A land where some children simply don't have access to the tools that all of these wonderful professors and dignitaries have to pursue their dream. This will be captured in a film shot by the Horn brothers, and we open our arms and welcome your participation in helping us to fulfill this dream in Nigeria. Before I begin, I want to just mention one last thing, and that is that my foundation has committed to producing free programs for the children of Nigeria over the course of this year. We do plan on, this will not be our last trip. It's our first, but not our last. We plan to continue to go back to work with college students on leadership skills, sustainable development skills, and give these children a hope for the future. choose to do with your time here will definitively set the course for the rest of your lives. Award-winning filmmakers, the Horn Brothers, have worked with the who's who of Hollywood, from Tony Award-winning director Kenny Leon to Chris Tucker, and Academy Award-winning actor Denzel Washington. They're following me to Nigeria to shoot a documentary called Amazing Grace, Freedom Song. This film will capture my initiatives with AIDS orphans and explore how youth are using music and nonviolence in response to injustice scarcely reported in recent news, the massacre of thousands of Nigerians. Nigeria is a beautiful contradiction. It's not only the origin of my birthplace, but the hub of a thriving entertainment industry, and a country that most would consider a model of what Africa can be. But beneath Nigeria's golden exterior, poverty, conflict, and death loom around every corner. Since 2010, a string of massacres have led to the deaths of nearly 10,000 people on college campuses, churches, villages, and on July 6, 2013, a secondary school where 42 children were burned alive.
Masked men armed with machetes and guns, and they killed hundreds of villagers in central
46 police officers were killed in an ambush in the central state.
Central Nigeria is burying its dead after what everyone here says was an attack by Muslim herdsmen on this Christian community.
While lives hang in the balance, thousands of courageous youth are rising up to unite Nigeria.
We've not been able to come out on mass like this and start uniting. This is not about Yoruba, it's not about Igbo.
But in a land where killing is as common as breathing, can music and nonviolence truly prevail? I've used my own funds with small grants to produce programs in 8 countries. But now I need your help. Television networks are already interested in airing this documentary. Your funds will help me produce a program for AIDS orphans, a peace-building summit for youth from war and tribes, and capture all of these inspiring moments in a film shot by the Horn Brothers. This isn't just another story about Africa. It's about human rights, hope, triumph, and the healing power of music. And together, we have a chance to share it with the world.
Especially NUC, Tutoring Fund, Ara-rocks, professors, the universities, and all the participants. To do that in a very fashionable way, I'm going to ask, first of all, I'd like to recognize one person, and that was one of my lecturers, Dr. Tinubu. Please stand up. And of course, I would like Mr. Tinubu to also stand up. Mr. Tinubu built the rail system in Canada. Give him a round of applause. I At this point, I would like Ambassador Tenede to please come forward with Dr. and Professor Gandia to close this officially, jointly. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my special recognition to Mrs. King, the level vice chancellors present here, the leader of the delegation, the organizers, the King Foundation, especially to Dr. Onabanjo and his group. Thank you very much for your presence this evening. We are delighted to have you here in Atlanta, the city of transportation and one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. It is no coincidence that we are here. Nigeria, with a population of over 175 million people, the biggest economy in Africa, 1 out of every African is a Nigerian. As we grow, so do our population. With a total university of 165, producing hundreds of graduates out every year, growing unemployment of the hundreds of thousands that are being produced every year. Not up to 50% could get employment. And we have this orientation of liberal courses, not based really on science and mathematics. Therefore, the government has to think fast and say, how do we produce graduates that only think of employment and not being able to help themselves? So the government has to come with an idea of creating a situation whereby when you go to the university, you learn how to be your own employer. So this program has been established in Nigeria, and every graduate that goes takes a course on if he comes out or she comes out and is not able to have employment, you could have the orientation, the idea of doing something for himself, getting himself employed. So that is the beauty of that thinking, the beauty of that vision, the beauty of that program. So they are all here. We have had the testimonies that they have given how useful this course has been. So we thank you very much, Onabanjo and the group and the King Foundation for giving us this opportunity to be here, for giving our academics this opportunity, so that the knowledge they gain here will just be like a train-the-trainer program, so that they can impart this knowledge back to the students. And I hope and pray that it's going to be useful the way it has been envisioned, the way they have testified that it will be. Thank you very much for being here. That is my first, that is the first aspect of my testimony. The second is, of course, the need to grow the private sector. In Nigeria, the public sector is still the biggest employer of labor, and the private sector is still small. And with the new graduates that will be coming, it is hoped and we pray that they are going to help grow the economy and expand the private sector. I think we are doing basically well, but we could do more. Today, we are proud to have the richest man in Africa, not in West Africa, in the whole black world, Adigo Dangote. That is born out of entrepreneurship. We have the LMLUs and others that are listed. We are beginning to have multinational institutions and businesses. Our banks are spreading everywhere. Dangote is spreading his plant everywhere. So thank you very much. We hope that when you go back, we are going to deepen this vision that the country has now to grow the private sector in partnership to our students so that they can be players. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention.
Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are familiar with whatever protocol, once your principal speaks, you have spoken. The rest is for you to concur. But I know Ambassador Zenebe is very generous, so I want to credit his indulgence to allow me not to say anything over and above what he has said, but just to garnish what he has said with just 3 words, keywords. I want to seize this opportunity to say thank you, merci beaucoup, gracias. But beyond that, coming from Nigeria, I would also like to say, Mungode, Dealu, Oshio.
Thank you very much. At this time, we bring this to a close, but I have an announcement, and that is, all the certificates are ready, but they're not properly signed. So we're going to make sure that all the signatures are appended, and we'll have the certificate ready for you in the morning. So first in the morning, we'll have those certificates displayed to everyone. Thank you very much, and good night.